This is Dr. Rob with another simplified psychology story for you.
Simplified psychology.
Simplified psychology.
Simplified psychology.
Something happened to you before you were old enough to understand it, before you had the words, before you even knew what a feeling was. And your brain recorded every single second of it, not as a memory you can pull up and examine. Something deeper than that. It recorded it as a blueprint, a set of invisible instructions for how the world works, how safe you are, and how much you are worth. And here's the strangest part. You are still running on that blueprint right now. Today. In your relationships, your reactions, your fears, and the way you talk to yourself at 2 a.m. Most people assume that childhood is something you grow out of. You move on, you become an adult, you leave it behind. But the research tells a completely different story. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why certain things still affect you the way they do. And it is going to change how you see yourself. Developmental psychologist Bruce Perry spent decades studying how early experiences shaped the brain. What he found was striking. The brain doesn't just store childhood experiences like files in a drawer, it actually builds itself around them. The neural pathways that form in your earliest years become the foundation for everything that comes after. That means the things that happened to you before you could even speak are still wired into how you think, feel, and respond today. Here are 10 of them. Number 1. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You bump into a chair, you say sorry. Someone cuts you off in conversation. You apologize for talking. This isn't a personality quirk, it's a survival pattern. When children grow up in environments where keeping the peace meant staying small, where expressing a need or disagreeing with someone felt dangerous, the brain learns to preemptively apologize as a way to avoid conflict. Psychologists call this the fawn response, your nervous system's way of keeping you safe by making you agreeable. It worked then. And if you recognize it, that recognition is the first step out of it. Number 2, you find it hard to ask for help. Asking feels like a burden, like you are too much, like the answer will be no, or worse, that asking will cost you something. This one often traces back to a childhood where needs went unmet, not always through cruelty, but sometimes simply through absence. A parent who was emotionally unavailable, overwhelmed, or inconsistent. Your brain concluded early on that relying on others was unreliable. So it taught you to handle everything alone. That self-sufficiency kept you going. But now it can make true connection feel almost impossible. Number 3, you feel like something bad is about to happen, even when things are good. Life is calm. Nothing is wrong. And yet there is a quiet dread sitting in your chest. Psychologist Martin Seligman's work on learned helplessness helps explain why. When children repeatedly experience stress they cannot control, unpredictable parents, instability at home, environments they couldn't make sense of, the nervous system stays permanently alert. It learns that calm doesn't last. So even when you're safe, your body keeps scanning for the threat that must be coming. This isn't anxiety as a character flaw. It is your brain doing its job, just with outdated information. Number 4, you struggle to feel like you are ever doing enough. You finish one thing and immediately move to the next. Rest feels irresponsible. Stillness makes you uncomfortable. Often this connects to a childhood where love felt conditional, where approval came through achievement, through being helpful, through being good. Your brain learned that your worth was something you had to earn, not something you simply had. Psychologist Carl Rogers called this conditional positive regard, and the weight of it follows people into adulthood, disguised as ambition or perfectionism. If you've ever felt tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix, this is often why. Number 5, you overthink conversations after they happen. You replay what you said. You look for signs that someone is upset with you. You analyze tone and silence and delayed replies. This is called hypervigilance to social cues. When you grew up in an environment where you had to read moods to stay safe, where someone's emotional state had direct consequences for you, your brain became extraordinarily sensitive to signals from other people. It learned to scan constantly. That skill protected you once. Now it keeps you awake at night. Now here's the part that might surprise you. Number 6, you self-sabotage right before good things happen. a promotion, a relationship going well, a moment of real happiness, and something inside you quietly dismantles it. This is not self-destruction. It is self-protection. Researcher Bessel van der Kolk, in his landmark work on trauma and the body, described how the brain learns to associate vulnerability with danger. If good things in your past were followed by loss, withdrawal, or punishment, your brain begins to treat positive experiences as threats. Staying small feels safer than risking the fall. Number 7. You have a harsh inner critic that sounds a lot like someone you grew up with. The voice that calls you stupid, lazy, too sensitive, too much, not enough. That voice didn't originate with you. It was borrowed. Children internalize the voices of caregivers and authority figures as a way of making sense of themselves. Over time, those external voices become internal ones. And they can run on autopilot for decades, unless you learn to recognize them for what they are: inherited scripts, not truth. Number 8. Conflict feels physically threatening, even when it is minor. Your heart rate spikes. You freeze, or flee, or fight disproportionately. This is your autonomic nervous system responding the way it learned to respond: fast, automatically, and without asking your opinion. When conflict in childhood carried real consequences, the body built a hair trigger response. It still fires that response now, even in situations where you are completely safe. Number 9. You find it difficult to trust that people will stay. This is attachment anxiety, one of the most studied phenomena in developmental psychology. When early caregivers were inconsistent, the brain never got to build a secure internal model of relationships. Instead, it built one based on uncertainty. So even in loving, stable relationships, part of you is always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Always testing, always bracing. If you've ever pushed someone away out of fear, they would leave first. That is this. Number 10. You feel a deep sense of shame that you can't fully explain, not guilt, which is about things you did. Shame is about who you are. It sits beneath everything. It whispers that something is fundamentally wrong with you, that if people really knew you, they would leave. Brené Brown's research on shame found that it develops most intensely in early childhood and thrives in secrecy. It is not a reflection of reality. It is the residue of growing up in an environment where you were made to feel that your needs, emotions, or existence were a problem. Here is what matters right now. You are reading or watching this because some of these things are familiar, maybe all of them. And that familiarity is not weakness, it is awareness. The brain you have today was built by a child doing their very best to survive their world. Every pattern on this list was once a solution. It protected you. It kept you functioning. It got you here. But here's what the research consistently shows, and this is the part that changes everything. The brain is not fixed. Neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to physically rewire itself through new experiences, means that none of this is permanent. The blueprint can be revised, not erased, but updated. And it starts with exactly what you are doing right now, understanding where the patterns came from. Something happened to you before you were old enough to understand it. And for a long time, it ran your life without you knowing. But now you know. And that is where everything starts to change.
Simplified psychology.
Simplified psychology.
Simplified